The home of common sense. Talk Radio and Talk TV.
Hello, good evening. It's Petrie here with you until 1 o'clock, and coming up at midnight, we will be talking about loneliness and why it is that the age group of 45 to 65 is particularly vulnerable to this state, to being lonely. So give me a call. Explain to me why the 45 to 65-year-olds in this country are the loneliest in Europe. 0344 499 1000. Now, though, it is time to talk movies with our critic, Van Connor. Hi, Van.
Hello, Petrie. How are you doing this week?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing? Are you all right in the dark there, looking all mysterious?
You know what it is? I took all the lights down because I had used the 3D printers over the weekend, and I needed to knock everything aside, and I just had to scramble to put it all back together. Ugh.
That's all right. Listen, tell me about the films you've got for me. What's this Immaculate?
Immaculate is the new movie to star the lady of the moment, Sydney Sweeney. This is, you know me, I love a sexy non-horror movie.
Yeah,
and so this is right up my alley. Yeah, who doesn't? You know, nuns and horror movies, that's a thing all on its own. Sexy nuns and horror movies, different thing entirely. So, Sydney Sweeney is a nun who's yet to take her vows, Michigan nun, who gets sort of scouted by a 17th century Italian monastery, taken all the way over to Our Lady of Sorrows in Italy to take her vows and you know, find her place there. No sooner has she arrived, however, that she quickly discovers all is not quite right in this monastery. Now, I'm not going to say much more for spoiler reasons, because this thing goes bonkers very, very quickly. I will just say, it's nuns, it's scary, it's Sydney Sweeney. Have a listen to this clip, you'll get the gist very quickly.
I promise to carry myself with grace because I want nothing more than to belong here. I'm afraid I've already messed things up. I'm sorry for these... Your Eminence? Hello?
My technical producer in there, he said, watch out, there's a jump warning here. I can see the waveform is going to go nuts. So even though I had the warning, he doesn't want to be responsible for me having a heart attack, and that's the end of the programme for the day. God, that is scary. That was horrible.
You know I love giving you a good jump scare when we do these things, Petrie. It's what we do.
It is what we do. Is it good? I mean, I'm not really a horror movie person. I scare far too easily. But would I like this?
Oh, I think you would. I think because when they give you the big reveal, again, no spoilers, but when they give you the big reveal, honestly, you'll be like I was, which is hand through head, just like, what is happening right now?
Oh, really?
Yeah, nuts, delightfully nuts, brilliantly nuts. I absolutely love it. Don't get me wrong. It's basically it's a 4-star film that basically comprises an upper 3-star Rosemary's Baby riff. And then gets kicked an entire star higher because Sydney Sweeney is really good in it. I know I'm biased as hell when it comes to her, but she's really good. Yeah.
So where is this? Is this cinemas?
This is in cinemas from this Friday.
Okay, perfect. What about Roadhouse?
Yeah, new Roadhouse. You must remember the original Roadhouse, I'm sure. We all do.
I mean, yeah, I vaguely.
It was Swayze with that mullet and those jeans. Yeah, we all remember those roundhouse kicks. Now remade for the new millennium, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, completely reimagined. You get the impression that when they wrote this, they never actually bothered to watch the original. They just read the Wikipedia page and thought, yeah, we can make that work. Yeah. We can make that work. And do you know what?
Okay.
Jake Gyllenhaal, hats off to them because it's really good. So Jake Gyllenhaal is an ex-MMA fighter, an ex-UFC fighter who's disgraced for reasons that will come up as the story, unfurls, but takes on a job, effectively as the head of security for a Florida Keys roadhouse that is just seeing its share of trouble all of a sudden due to certain unsavory elements in the local corporate infrastructure, we shall say. No sooner as he arrived, however, and started rubbing the bad guys up the the wrong way, they start then bringing in their own out-of-town muscle, including Conor McGregor in his acting debut.
Wowza.
Which apparently makes him, according to him, makes him the highest paid first-time actor ever, which I can believe, and all-out war is waged for the Roadhouse. I got a clip for you. Enjoy this. It is just brilliantly just gonzo. Big fan.
A friend of mine suggested I come talk to you. I own a roadhouse out in the Florida Keys. Lately, it's been attracting the wrong clientele. I can pay you good money. Judging by your car, you need this.
Well, I like my car.
Think about it.
I know who you are. Elwood Dalton. Big fan, man.
That guy's got a knife under his shirt. You just take a big step back and pop me in the face. You can do it.
Tell me about this fountain.
Yeah, it's all nice, like he's Mr. Rogers or something, but then he'll haul off. Really interesting guy, overall.
Yeah. I suppose it was due a remake. Everything else has been remade, hasn't it?
Actually, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of Roadhouse, but I loved this.
Oh,
This is a really good reinvention for effectively the Fast and Furious generation. Like, it's very much down the road. I mean, you come away from this thinking, I'll bet folding money right now that Conor McGregor gets cast as a villain in Fast 11 next year. Like, that's clearly going to happen. And Gyllenhaal, Gyllenhaal is never a disappointment in anything.
I agree.
But here, he gets to bring kind of an unexpected sense of humour. Because I don't remember the Swayze version having much of a sense of humour. It was quite self-serious and gritty. This actually is quite funny, but not in a really knowing way. It just has a sense of humour. But a good time. The fight scenes are incredible. Like everyone in it is cut to the nines. Just shredded, beating the seven bells at one another. It's really well choreographed and really well staged.
Well, listen, Gyllenhaal may be brilliant, but he's never been in the frame for Bond. Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
He's probably the only guy who hasn't, I think.
Yeah, probably. Aaron Taylor-Johnson, though, is the new James Bond. That's what everybody's saying, except
he's not.
Except he's not. But should we remind people of who he is before we talk about who he won't be? Have a listen.
Well, this is the thing, because a lot of people don't seem to know. But
no.
Yeah, we should. We absolutely should.
Yeah, have a listen to this.
My mother was killed by an aneurysm in the kitchen, as opposed to a gunman in the alley. So if you're hoping for any... I will avenge you, mother! You're out of luck.
Next, the Scouts Dwayne Eddy will play Moving and Grooving. I present to you Mr. Paul McChamley. Thanks, John. Kind words. I didn't mean them.
This is funny, Mr. Stark. It's what, comfortable? Like old times?
Hey, I'm sorry you lost your folks, man. It's a shame. I didn't have nothing to do with it.
I stared death in the face, and for the first time, I saw my true self.
There's 6 of us, and only one of you.
There's 6 of you now.
So those clips, just in case people are going mad thinking about it, Kick-Ass, Nowhere Boy, Avengers, Nocturnal Animals, and upcoming film Kraven the Hunter. I had to look him up to see his face, to see who he was, and I went, oh yeah, I kind of know who you are.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. So why are you saying he isn't?
Because the people that make Bond say he isn't.
So why was everybody saying he was?
Because every year, like clockwork, the Sun's showbiz section run an article where they seem to just make up someone who's gonna be Bond. And I wouldn't mind, but it's exactly... I went and checked. I checked my own YouTube records, of my own appearances. It had been 14 months since the last time the Sun's showbiz section ran a story saying... And would you know, by complete coincidence, this story always seems to come up round about the time that Aaron Taylor-Johnson has a new movie to promote. So if I were a cynical person...
Which, of course, you're not, man.
I wouldn't ever be that cynical. But I might assume that maybe the full-time publicist on his payroll has a mate at the Sun.
Yeah.
Just maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Because everybody is looking at him, but we still don't know who it's going to be.
Oh, just give it to Regé Jean Page and let's have some fun.
I agree.
Oh, can you imagine?
Oh, Well, I am imagining. Yeah, no, he would be amazing. Let's just do it. Let's just give him a call. Give Broccoli a call and say, right, we've sorted it out for you. But they might be looking at Mr. Oppenheimer as a director, huh?
I don't know. I don't think Nolan's ever particularly going to do it. He has kind of already had a stab at a Bond movie because a lot of Inception is very specifically modelled on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Some people are mentioning Chris Nolan might be the director.
I would be intrigued. I'm not wrong. I'm first in line if he ever does. I'm the first guy there if Nolan ever does a Bond movie. I'm the first guy there for any Nolan movie anyway. But I don't see it happening. I think he likes his original projects now, or adaptations.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time, of course, he would have needed to do a Bond, but he really doesn't. He doesn't need to do that anymore. Let's just move on, because we've literally only got about a minute left, and I wanted to talk about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which has been absolutely crushed by the critics. They say this is the worst film pretty much ever made. But they're going to do it again.
I sat and watched the first one in the Prince Charles with Kermode, and he and I just heckled the whole thing throughout. It was a disaster. The sequel is due in the next month or so, I believe, and it's not just a sequel. They did say when they made the first one, there was a whole bunch coming. We were getting a Peter Pan one, we were getting Bambi, The Reckoning was another one, Pinocchio Unstringed, I think, is another one, and now these
Mickey
are all
Mouse as well, isn't there? Going to be an evil Mickey Mouse now that he's no longer...
Yep.
Yeah.
There is. He's not part of this, though, because this has its own branding. This is now going to be a cinematic universe that is genuinely going to build up to a movie, an Avengers-style movie called Pooniverse Monsters Assemble. The whole thing, the whole collective endeavour, is going to be called the Twisted Childhood Universe.
Well, on that note, Van, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
On DAB+, on the app, Talk Radio and Talk TV.